Hello, my name is Faisal Khan and we are back at my Q&A session for the month of May. So I received many questions. I received over 70 questions and I've, made it go down to 10. There were some 5 personal questions. I'll do the personal ones first. They were really weird personal questions that people had asked, but I'm going to do the weird, not the weird ones, sorry. I'm going to do the regular ones first. Very simple. How old are you? I'm 50. Your favorite color? Navy blue. Favorite music? Jazz, in case you didn't know. Favorite food? Mediterranean style lamb chops. I am a sucker for lamb chops. If you got a recipe for Mediterranean style lamb chops, send it to me. You and I are going to be good friends. How many languages can you speak? English. I can read, write, and speak English. Urdu, my native language. I can speak. I can't read or write, unfortunately. I can speak very, very little Turkish. I used to speak very little Russian. Got rusty in that. I can probably say hello and hi, how are you in about maybe 30 languages, but that's about it. Anyway, so those were the personal questions. Those are out of the way. Let's get to the regular good questions. So question number 1, is crypto still a good investment in 2020? I have said this before, I will say this again. I am not going to give investment advice. I don't know if it's a good investment. I don't know. I could go up. Theoretically, historically, it's been going up. If you zoom out and look at a 5-year plan, etc. So maybe it is a good investment. Is Tezos a good investment? Probably. Is Ethereum a good investment? Probably. Is Bitcoin? Probably. Is IOTA? Question mark. Is some other thing? I don't know. Question mark. So is it a good investment? I don't know. I leave that up to you. I am not an investment guru or by any way, means or form, so I really can't give advice on that. Will anonymous money still be available in the future? This is a really good question. I loved it. It came from a user in Finland, I believe, and I can't pronounce your name. I should have actually. Next time I'm going to write your names for the person who sent it. But is anonymous money going to be available in the future? I think yes. I think anonymity is something we will learn to live with and not live without. I think there are a couple of states now and a couple of law cases in the court that are saying, we need the cash equivalent. We need the ability to have our anonymous, detached, untethered money that we can keep in ourselves. And they're fighting those cases. New York happens to be one of them. Sweden, which prides itself on being a country that is going cashless, also had a case recently filed, and there's some cases going on in other countries of the world. So I think anonymous money will still be there in the future. What are some of the best business opportunities during COVID-19? I think anything that's transformational from a digital point of view, from analog to digital, offline to online, is a good thing to do. COVID-19 is not going to go away. At least all the numbers or experts that I have listened to, especially Bill Gates, etc., all say that this is probably going to go away by 2022. We'll be living and working in a very different way. So digital transformation, if you're doing digital transformation from analog to digital, from offline to online, I think those are definitely some opportunities in the COVID space. If so much of the world's wealth is parked in offshore accounts, why don't we simply sanction them and close them? The reason is double standards. The wealth is parked there for a purpose. There's a lot of, smoke screen that says, hey, we're doing this, we're clamping down, etc. But there's, over 700, I think $750 trillion worth of wealth parked there or something like that. And that's done by purpose. The British banking system, the other banking systems, they did it by purpose. What we have now is a clash of the American banking system versus the British banking system versus some of the locations like Switzerland and Germany and Luxembourg, etc., that are trying to fight this system. But it's done by choice. There's a great documentary. I want you to see it. It's called The Spider's Web. It explains the entire history of the offshore worldwide, wealth in the Bahamas, in the Caribbean, in Jersey, etc., and so forth. Must watch it, Spider's Web. I'll put a link down below. But it's done by choice. It's not done, they don't want to do it. It's just that, the United States says, I want all of that wealth. Switzerland says, bring it here. The UK says, we ain't going to touch it. So, they give a double standard lip service to the whole thing, but it's there for a purpose. Anyways, question number 5, why do so many payment startups fail? Oh, I mean, the reasons are so many, but I think underestimating traction was the biggest thing. They think, oh, well, you know what, we're going to do this, and we're going to have so many users, etc. The users never sign up. Non-validation, they don't go and do the exact validation out there in the scientific method way that it was supposed to be done. They don't validate it. And then thinking that, we'll just totally bypass the banking system, the fiat system, everyone's going to go crypto, or everyone is going to use a unique thing, and we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that, and they don't take compliance into consideration, etc. I think these are very important issues that people sort of underestimate. They have their own opinions in their head, they go up with it, and then they say, you know what, it's going to be perfect, we're going to make money, etc., etc. Turns out their opinion was in a minority, it was not well thought of, not well researched, and the traction part really kills them. If the traction doesn't kill them, then the compliance definitely does. What is a problem yet unsolved? So this was a great question. It came from someone, I believe it's in Africa. I forgot the name of the country. I will put that again. My apologies. Next time I won't make this mistake. This is probably one of the best questions. What is a problem yet unsolved that is related to payments world but not a payment method itself? Beautiful question. And the immediate answer is identity. I think identity hasn't been solved yet. I know who I am, but the person across the world doesn't believe when I say I am who I am. And there's no method of us really validating that. And identity is takes so many different flavors and facets and sects, etc. when we talk about identity on the whole in this beautiful world of ours. So someone living in Somalia has a different way of identifying themselves than someone in rural Sindh in Pakistan, than someone in the urban areas of India or Bangladesh, and someone in Nigeria to USA to Canada to Tokyo. Identity is a problem that I feel has not been solved yet, and I think it's one of the most daunting tasks that is facing us, and we need to solve it fast, because that is one of the reasons why in many cases the financial inclusion, exclusion, etc. is not being done, because identity and all this, it's a high risk country, it's a high risk. I think we need to stop looking at country risks. We need to start looking at people risk. We need to stop looking at countries per se. We need to start looking at people per se. So you should build your own identity, your own credit, your own worthiness, even if you live in a high risk country. So I think identity is very important. What are some of the new content or ideas you will be bringing onto your channel? So I'm thinking of doing a few videos, some live, I guess some live events if I can, once the number of subscribers grows, or maybe there's enough interest. I plan on getting some famous people and doing sort of an interview with them. And I'm doing this thing, what is called a country series, where I want to talk about a country and highlight its payment system, its problems, its opportunities, its players, etc. And I think that's going to be a really good one. I did it in a very mild way with Estonia, Somalia, Venezuela, but I wanted Turkey, UAE, etc. But I want to do a more deeper one. What technology are you most optimistic on? I think I've said this very recently. I'm very optimistic on this new form of money that we have, the electronic money, the crypto money, the blockchain, decentralized, permissionless, etc. And I'm really, really fascinated now, and it's been very of late. It wasn't that, had you asked me this in January, I would probably have said no. February, even no. Just in March, when I really started reading about it, I think the intra-ledger protocol is really, really fascinating to me. It resonates with what I've been saying regarding small value transfers in real time, although these are micropayments, and it can do many, many things as well. But inter-ledger protocol, the interoperability of money, the true interoperability of money, regardless of the kind of system we have, etc., is something very, very important. And I think that's really, really fascinating. Number 10. Can you recommend some great YouTube videos to watch on understanding money? Of late, yes, I can recommend a few, but you know what? I'm going to do a video itself on it, on just some great series of maybe 10 or 12 videos, and talk about it for 2 minutes each, and my top 10, 12 recommendations. The one that I really want you to see right now is something called I think it's the book is here somewhere. I have it here. Sorry, I'm taking up a little bit of time. Oh, yeah, here it is. It's called The Creature from Jekyll Island. You know, it's a great book. It's by this guy called Edward Griffin, Edward Griffin, The Creature from Jekyll Island. It's about the Federal Reserve, and Jekyll Island was obviously the island where a bunch of bankers and lawyers, etc., went and created the idea of the Federal Reserve. And the Federal Reserve is essentially a private bank and does many things. So people think, people really don't think it's a private government partnership, the partnership of private banks and the government, and it, people are very ill-informed. They don't read it, but this is a great book to read. But if you can't read the book, there is a YouTube video for it. He gives a lecture. I will include that in the comments below, and it's about a 2-hour lecture. Fascinating lecture from the author himself about the Federal Reserve. Anyways, that's all the time I have right now for these questions. I will do some of the the must-watch videos separately, and from next time around I will include the names and the countries from where people are asking a question. I am very humbled that you actually write to me and ask me this question. Till next time, this is Faisal Khan signing off. Have a good one and stay safe.